Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. So this time we're starting off as Rena from the pink text and all. We've had a lot of game stuff, so we've just introduced some of the more story stuff, so I think we might actually be doing story stuff instead. Last class of the day was finally over, meaning that it was time for club activities. I was sure it would be fun. I couldn't wait. Then Michan received a call and told us something had come up and she had to go. So we didn't have a club meeting today. Disc. I was really looking forward to it. Did one of her relatives call the school phone? Because this is before cell phones really being a thing. In fact, it might be entirely before cell phones. I forget when exactly this is set, but it's around the same time from memory which first cell phone was invented. Anyway, ignoring the history lesson, there was nothing I could do. But I could at least chat with Keiichi-kun on the way home. It'll be fun. Keiichi-kun sometimes says mean things, but he's very funny. When I chat with him, my depression goes away. Oh. Wait, what did I just say? Am I depressed? I have so much fun every day, and I'm as happy as I can be. What did I have to be depressed about? Well, it was obvious. Because of Rina-san, my father is happy now. Before he met her, he was like a lamp in broad daylight. Honestly, he was like the living dead. But after he met Rina-san, he started to smile like he used to when he was living with my mother. He enjoyed talking with her and started going out with her. You could probably say they went on dates. Now, he looks 20 years younger. Rina-san gets along with my father very well, and she's very kind to me too. There's actually no reason for me to hate her, but the bitter memories of my parents' divorce and my many regrets were gradually eating away at my heart. Was it okay to accept that woman? Rina-san might be the same as how Uncle Akihito turned out to be. Was she the enemy who takes my happiness away with her very existence? With or without bad intentions? Am I going to sit around until everything collapses again? Should I fight the enemy before it's too late? Rina-san comes to my house too obviously. Since my father started letting her stay the night, many of her belongings have turned up in the house. My father and I don't smoke, but there's an ashtray in the living room. The futon in our guest room is hers now. In the bathroom there's a toothbrush and shampoo I'd never choose to buy. I started to feel awkward about those things. And that's when I started noticing it at the front door when I came home from school. Her perfume. I asked my father once if he was thinking about getting married to Rina-san. He looked a little embarrassed, perplexed, confused. He told me, not yet. He knew I was hurt by the divorce. That's probably why he couldn't admit that he wanted to remarry. That's why he said, not yet. He'd consider it, but not while I was still living with him. That's what he meant, I guess. There's only one reason why I don't want him to get remarried to Rina-san. I feel offended that my sanctum, my family, is being invaded. I might be being selfish, though. I know keeping my father all to myself means keeping him miserable like he was before he met Rina-san. He has a life to live too. It's his right to heal from the pain from the divorce and to live, to find his new love. He wouldn't have to go through that painful life if I'd prevented the divorce from happening in the first place. He has a right to a happy new life that lets him forget the pain he never deserved, and I don't have any right to stop him. In fact, I have an obligation to try to return his happiness to him. have to pay for my sin, my inability to prevent his divorce. Then what should I do to make both of us happy? It wouldn't be that difficult. All I need to do would be to give my silent approval of their relationship. My father tells me he won't get remarried while we live together. That means I should stop leaning on my family, be strong, and live on my own as soon as I can. Though that doesn't mean I can tell him not to go out with her until that day. Rina's son comes to our house to see him despite her busy schedule, and she even stays for night whenever her shift permits. They're adults. I have no right to say anything against that. That's why I chose to give my silent approval to their relationship, and try to see her as little as I could. I get along with Rina-san on the surface. I know my father would have a hard time keeping me face if we didn't. But it's a very exhausting and painful thing to get along with a person I don't really like. So, whenever Rina-san comes over, I spend as much time as possible outside, then head home late. Michan's club activities are the most convenient things to do to kill time, but there are some days we don't have a club meeting. On those days, I while away my time at the garbage dump, hunting for treasure alone, and that's how I started to make my secret hideout. My father can do whatever he wants with Rina-san at home. I don't have to see them together. I can spend my time peacefully at my hideout. I sometimes feel depressed about my life. I sometimes want to talk to somebody about it, but nothing will change, even if I talk to somebody. This is all I can really do. Talking to people really does help though, in terms of just your own health. The most important thing for me should be to overcome the sadness of losing my family as fast as I could, and to regain my own happiness. One step which could really help with that is to talk about it. I have so much fun every day. I'm happy every day. Even on the way home, Keiichi-kun was talking about funny things that made me laugh. My feeling gloomy in spite of that was kind of rude. My father should be happy. I should be happy. I just feel sad because I still can't separate from my father. Compared to the unexpectedness of a divorce, Rina-san's invasion is a very slow process. I think Rina-san understands how I feel. She treats me very kindly, but she doesn't do more than that. I think she understands that I'd feel uncomfortable if she did. I respect Rika-chan, because she is strong even without her parents. Compared to the pain of losing both her parents unexpectedly, my problem is like nothing. I respect Satoko-chan's toughness too. She also lost her parents and was forced to live a painful life under her uncle and aunt. Compared to the cruel treatment she had to go through, my relationship with Rina-san is the best one. I keep feeling anxious, but that's just because I'm immature, and because I feel like I'm not ready to separate from my father. It's still at school. That's perfectly normal. I have to be strong like Rika-chan and Satoko-chan. I have to try my best to be happy. I'm going to live with all my might, in order to regain the peace of mind that I lost that day. My assumption that I'm not happy is just a mistake. I should appreciate the wonderful days I spend with my wonderful friends. Just by realizing that I'm happy, the world shines so brightly.
それでね、あんまりにも可愛いから、レナ、ハウお持ち帰りって。
やれやれ。レナは毎日を楽しく過ごすことに関しては達人だな。レ
ナは毎日が楽しいよ。こんなにも素敵な友人たちに囲まれて過ごす、こんなにも素晴らしい日々があって、どうして不幸が感じられる？
だな。不幸なんかここにはないよ。いつまでも楽しくて不幸なことなんかとは一切無縁。 それがひなみ沢ってとこなんだからよ。
He should have stopped right there, but he just kept going.
レナが羨ましいよな。その悩み知らずな能天気さが羨ましいぜ。
はあ、バカにされてるっぽい気がする。でも毎日が楽しいなら私は能天気でもいいかな。
I don't have any worries. I feel like I do, but that's just because I'm immature and still want my father's attention. Come on, save the magical world, it'll cheer you up.
はあ、
Didn't make sense to say it now, but I'm just going to say it anyway, because this is my magical phrase that always cheers me up.
はう、お持ち帰り。
なんだよ突然。でもそれでこそレナだぜ。
That's right. This is me, Rena. I'm not Reina. Reina still wants her parents' attention. Rena is a goofy and carefree girl. She knows that every day is full of happiness, and she has the kind heart to appreciate it too. I should forget about icky things. I should live a wonderful life free from anything icky. Icky starts with I. That's why I got rid of the I in Rena. I'm Rena. I'm going to recapture the happiness I lost when I left Hinamazar. I will overcome any pain and hardship. I can be happy, because I got rid of icky things. I'm sure there are only incredible things waiting for me. Oh, incredible starts with I too. Oof. I was almost home, and when my house appeared, I noticed something different there. There was a truck parked in front of my house. There was nothing on the back of it, but I can tell it brought something here, because I saw some cardboard boxes, blankets, and ropes on the ground. From the front of the house I heard the voices of two young men saying, "Well, we'll be going now." They passed me by as I walked towards the front door. They were wearing some kind of work uniforms. They looked like delivery people. My father was about to close the door when he noticed
ただ
me.
いま。何かあったの？
おかえり、レーナ。見てごらん、すごいぞ。
My father looked to be in a good mood. I didn't know why he was. Whenever he smiled like that, I just wanted to smile back at him. His eyes used to look like those of a dead fish, no matter how hard I tried to smile at him. But these days, he could put on a big smile just to surprise me. He's been literally coming back to life since a year ago when we moved back to Hinmazal. No, since he started dating Rina-san. When I see him smile like this, I'm happy. But at the same time, I feel confused because I don't know whether I should thank Rina-san or not.
ほら、すごいだろう。
He took me to the living room. He was probably expecting me to go ooh and ah. So whether there was something in the living room or not, I was ready to go ooh and ah for him.
はあ、何これ。どうしたのお父さん。
I tried to sound excited and surprised. He was standing behind me, probably smiling with satisfaction at hearing my excited voice. I, on the other hand, was desperately trying to understand what was going on. For a moment, I thought I was in someone else's house. You see, the living room had been completely redecorated. The furniture we had was all basically from the former house in Ibaraki. My parents bought most of the furniture when they got married, so it was all old and a little dirty. Some of them still had crayon scribbles I drew when I was very little, but all of that was gone. Everything in the living room had turned to pastel colour, looking very sophisticated like the rooms you see in soap operas. The new carpet looked very tropical. The new curtains matched with the carpet. The new sofa looked very expensive. The living room, in general, looked like a resort hotel. The channel switcher of our old TV was broken, and we used to have to use pliers to change channels, but it was gone too, replaced by a new one with a big screen. The room's lights had also been replaced by nicer looking ones. The living room looked like a totally different world under the new fluorescent lights.
すごいね、お父さん。これはどうしたの？
心機一転さ。もう引っ越してきて1年にもなるんだから、お父さんもそろそろ気分を切り替えて、新しい生活に踏み出さないとなって思ったんだよ。
I suggested redecorating the house once in order to cheer him up, because he was still in pain after the divorce. But he wasn't interested at the time. He didn't want to get rid of the old furniture he had chosen with my mother, because he still couldn't get over her, even though she cruelly broke up with him. I wanted to suggest it again when the time was right. I never thought he'd do it on his own initiative.
そうだね。こんな綺麗なお部屋だと心も晴れ晴れするもんね。素敵なお部屋だと思うよ。
いいだろう。ほら、レーナ、お前、ユリースに憧れてたろ。まだ組み立ててないけど、ほら、ちゃんとあるんだぞ。はうー。
お父さん、すごいすごいすごい。これ、私がもらってもいいのかな？
こらこら、それはみんなの共用のものだから、レーナだけってわけじゃないんだぞ。
共用でもレナが占領しちゃうからダメ。
My father explained the details of his redecoration proudly. He told me that he only did the living room this time, but he's going to redecorate all of the rooms. He sure had become more active. There are some parts about the redecoration I didn't like, but I still thought it was great because it made him happy. I found the old furniture outside in the yard.
あれは捨てちゃうの？
まあ、この際だと思ってな。後で業者が引き取りに来てくれることになってる。
They're going to dump it illegally, aren't they? Getting rid of the old furniture means putting an end to my mother. I hated the furniture because it smelled like my mother, and I tried to break everything once. I understand why my father wants to take this opportunity to get rid of them. But, for some reason, this new living room makes me feel like I no longer belong to you. Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't have done it without her. Well, my father didn't choose the new furniture. Rina-san probably did. Most likely, my father and Rina-san decided to redecorate the living room and went to a furniture store to buy everything. I tried to think positively. The reason why my father didn't tell me about the redecoration was because he wanted to surprise me. No, my father never really considers things that deeply. So I suppose he didn't tell me just because he didn't think he needed to tell me. I'm sure he didn't redecorate the living room to make me feel like I was no longer welcome. Don't be negative, Rena. My father didn't have any bad intentions. He doesn't want to get rid of me. He doesn't think I'm the reason he can't get remarried. And yet, why did I feel sad looking at the old furniture in the yard? Why did I feel like I didn't belong? I realized the reason right away. The reason was me. To him, wanting to have a fresh start by getting rid of the things that reminded him of my mother might be an indication of his unconscious desire to get rid of her daughter. My father doesn't really consider things deeply, so he might not be thinking that I'm the reason he can't get remarried. But he understands that he can't get remarried while we live together. By staying with him, I'm torturing my father. It was my fault that he had to get a divorce. That's why I have to support him, to help recapture his happiness. Not darkness. I couldn't keep him all to myself. I'd have to start thinking about living on my own. I don't need to go to university. I should think about getting a job. But who would hire an uneducated girl like me? Even if somebody did hire me, I wouldn't be able to earn enough money to live on my own. Maybe I should think about working at a hostess club, like Rina-san does. People only choose the jobs they can. A girl like me doesn't have a lot of choices. Not a lot of companies would hire me or pay the amount of money that I'd need to live on my own, but come to think of it, there is a place where I belong. Whenever I end up feeling like this, I miss my secret hideout in the trash piles. I'd love to get under my blanket and feel warmth on a cold night. The hideout gets hot and humid during the day, and very cold at night. It's not a comfortable place to spend time in. But it might be the place where I can relax the most, more than I can at my house. No, I shouldn't think like this. I shouldn't think that my house has been invaded by Rina-san. I should thank her for making my father happy. Rina-san isn't trying to get me out of the house. She's trying to get along with me. But I'm not opening my heart to her. I'm the bad one. I'm the bad one. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Satoshi-kun and his aunt didn't get along well. At all. And she abused him for a long time. Compared to him, my situation is a lot easier. Sadako-chan and Rika-chan lost their parents, and they live together now. They've been through very hard times. On the other hand, I still live with my father. I should feel blessed. I shouldn't think I'm unhappy just because of these things. I am happy. I am blessed. The trouble with me is that I still can't admit that I'm happy. My father kept talking proudly about the redecoration. I nodded at him with a big smile and let him keep at it.
そうだ、いけない。レイナ、すまないんだが、ちょっとお使いを頼めないか？
お使い？うん、いいよ。
お父さんな、ジャケットを2着ほど洋服屋さんに取り寄せさせてるんだ。それがな、今日届くらしいんだ。ちょっとお父さんは回収業者さんを手伝わなきゃならないから、レイナが代わりに取ってきてくれないか？
いいよ。お店を教えて。どんなジャケットを取り寄せたんだろう。
Got a slightly bad feeling about
楽
this.
しみ。
No matter what they look like, I'm sure Rina-san picked them out for him. Although I don't mind going. I'd rather go to a store than listen to stories about the redecoration of our living room. I got the receipt, asked him where the store is, changed my clothes, and left the house. I started pedaling my bicycle and looked at the old furniture in the yard for the last time. They used to be the object of my hatred, but for some reason, they now made me feel sentimental. Is it because I still regret the loss of my mother, even though I hate her? I couldn't let poisonous emotions take over my heart. I understood it in my mind, but I just couldn't get rid of that feeling. The old furniture wasn't the only stuff that was kicked out of the house. There was also a lot of junk that I'd brought home from the landfill. My father was probably going to throw that away too. He doesn't like the junk I collect. He'll probably let the delivery company take it all together with the old furniture. Just like an animal that rubs its scent on its home in order to feel secure, I collected all the junk in order to make sure that I could stay here. And that's not it. I wanted to bring them to my house because they were abandoned by their former owners. And they need a place to live. On a serious note though, if you do ever feel like this, you really should talk to someone. Anyone. There's helplines which are anonymous if you need them. You can easily just search them up. Talk to friends. If you're at school, talk to teachers. There's often also a health counsellor at schools, so them in particular, they're actually trained and know how to properly respond. And if you feel like your one is not worth their time, it's just something meaningless, still go. They've got time to spend. And if they're your friends, then yeah, that's what friends are for. Anyway, continuing on. The store where my father ordered the jackets from was a fancy boutique. It's hard to believe my father would shop at a store like this on his own. I could tell right away that Rina-san took him here. I handed over his receipt to the cashier, Short time later, the store manager came out wearing a perplexed look.
竜宮様、大変申し訳ございません。実は入荷のトラックが高速で事故渋滞に巻き込まれているようでございまして、おそらくはもうじき到着すると思うのですが。
I'd be stuck in traffic. Okay, if it's a highway. He said that the driver called a while ago, told him he just got off the highway and would be here in about an hour. I didn't need to know all the details, but he explained them to me anyway. I asked him if I should come back tomorrow. He insisted that I should wait because the truck would be coming shortly. He urged me to take a seat on their sofa. But I didn't really feel comfortable waiting there, so I told him I'd be back soon and left the store. I wondered if there were any fast food restaurants nearby. I might have to go all the way back to the station. I looked around and found a coffee house. The glass on the door was black, so I couldn't see inside. There was a poster saying that the price for a cup of tea is lower than normal for women on weekdays. I'd just be going to get a cup of tea to kill some time. It should be okay. But still, I hesitated to go inside before opening the door. The first impression of the coffee house was the smell of cigarettes. It's normal for coffee houses to be filled with cigarette smoke. It's like a requirement. But Rena still regretted her decision. While she was thinking about leaving, the proprietor spoke to her briskly and showed her to a table. Rena gave up on the idea of leaving and sat down. The atmosphere in the shop was far from the clean, normal coffee house where you would go to simply enjoy coffee and cigarettes. It was more like a place where vulgar people would hang around. Okay. Also, why did the text turn white instead of pink? Rena didn't feel comfortable at all, but what bothered her the most was the laughter of a man and a woman sitting together in the very back of the shop. Her table was behind a planter, so depending on how one looked at it, one could say she was in the spot most protected from their laughter. But Rena looked as though she wanted to leave as soon as she finished her tea. The bell hanging from the entrance door rang, letting her know a customer just came in. It was a little surprising for her that a coffee shop like this could draw in so many customers. Rena peeked at the newcomers from behind the planter. There were two of them. They looked like vulgar men, the kind of people you didn't want to get involved with the instant you saw them. The proprietor tried to show them to a table, but they ignored him and walked towards her back. They walked up to the couple who had been laughing loudly and greeted them with a bow.
Oh, やっと来よったんか。まあ座れや。
The couple stopped laughing. The man told the newcomers to sit down in a threatening tone of voice. As instructed, the two of them took a seat.
で、どういうことだ。
You step A again?
すんまへん。なんとかその。
ごたくはええねボケ。とっととうなるもんさらさんかい。
The two of them looked at each other before they each took an envelope out of their pockets and put it on the table. The man roughly grabbed the two envelopes and tore one of them open. Inside, there were many wrinkled 10,000 yen bills bound into a bundle with a rubber band. He opened the other one to make sure it also had cash in it, and then threw it to the woman.
おい、数えんね。
ちょっと、私に命令しないでくれる？
Ah.
もともと私の金なんだから。
じゃがましい。黙って数えんなええんね。
What are they doing? The man yelled at the woman. She licked her thumb, looking annoyed, and started counting the cash expertly. The two newcomers hung their heads while she counted. Lighting a cigarette, the man waited for her to finish counting.
はいよ、全部あるわよ。
The woman said that after flicking through the last bill. The newcomers looked relieved. The man, however, didn't look satisfied as he stared at the bundle of bills. the woman was holding.
律子、それいくらあった？
ん？全部って言ったわよ。
全部っていくらかっちゅって聞いとんねん。
だから私が貸した金全部だって言ってるでしょ。
バゲが。利子はついとるか聞いとるんねん。
The man and Ritsuko yelled at each other. Even though they were making all that noise, the other customers acted like they didn't hear anything.
おい兄さん方、200万ビッタンこっきゃないね。どういうこっちゃ？
The two of them were trying to find some excuses to make. It seemed like this behavior had touched the man's nerves, as he started looking furious.
おら！黙っとったらわからんがな！
So yeah, before we hear the explanation, I think I will just here. I hope you'll enjoy. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.